Hey there, viewers, and welcome back to the Self-Made Auto Channel. I'm down here in Staten Island visiting Keith for a while and checking out this Jeep here. It's a 2012 Grand Cherokee. It's the Overland. It's got the big Hemi in it, and it is an intermittent no start. Cranks okay, and it also the initial customer complaint was they thought it would work with the remote start, but that seemed to be just kind of a coincidence that occasionally it would start with the remote start and then not with the key or with the push button. So I just verified it, took and made sure that was the case, and then just sat here and cranked over. See if it does it again. Well, maybe not. It's probably disabled because the first time it didn't start. So we'll hop inside, show you the symptom, and then we'll take it from there. So you can see right up on the dash, remote start disabled, start vehicle to reset. So it's probably because last time I just tried it, it did not work. So I'll give you an example of what we got going on here. No security light. So I don't think it's going to be a security problem. Let's grab a scan tool and see if we can gather some information. Right, so the beauty of working with Keith is he lets me play with all the factory scan tools. So this is the Y-Tech, so it's going to be the Chrysler factory tool. And we just plugged it in, auto ID'd the car, brought up the whole list of modules that are on this vehicle, and then has a little legend over here. The modules that have code stored in them are in yellow, and one we're going to be concerned with is the WCM, so it's going to be our wireless control module. Now you have to bear with me because I have no idea what I'm doing. Here,
and you raise that up, click it, raise it up, you'll be able to see what you actually have down here. That'll actually tell you what you have. So WCM, lost communication with rain sensing module, light rain sensing.
So that's why the headlights were on when you turned the key on, right?
Yep, exactly.
Alright, because I asked Keith before we had the key on there and I seen the headlights turn on. I was asking about this load sensor, if that was going goofy. So that's doesn't have anything to do with our current issue. Alright, we'll figure out the next step here. I was just sitting here talking with Keith, about what my next step would be, because sometimes it's really good to talk with somebody else and see what their approaches is versus, what my approach would be. So at this point, I'd have done the same thing. Grab scan tools, see if you've got any code, some kind of direction, because that's quick and easy. And now that we're based, now that we look at it and see that we don't see anything that's really too, out of line or that's going to give us this issue, now you just kind of start back at the basics, being that we gather a little data. We got a crank no start, so, air, fuel, spark, common stuff. So we'll go there next.
RPM reading.
RPM reading, yep, crank signal. So
try it first.
Yeah, before we get out, neither one of us know if the crank or if the tack is live on these, so we're going to go ahead and crank it. Yep, so the tack is coming up, so that likely means we have crank signal. And being that we did that, I would say, kind of take that with a grain of salt if you're working on, depending on what you're working on, looking at the tack and seeing if it bounces when you crank it. Not all cars do that even when they are actually working, so that's kind of a 50-50, I guess. Now one other thing we can do, we can come in and just look at scan data, if we're concerned about a crank sensor, which is a high failure Chrysler item. So we've got our crank signal missing, and it says false. Of course, everybody's going to question the out of sync PID, so what we'll do is we'll crank it over. That should go in sync. Alright, so we never lost crank signal, at least at the ECM. Cam crank timing is, well, we can't say it's on, but it went back to in sync.
Yep.
Oh yeah, don't leave home without it. So quick and dirty, fuel delivery, spark, give her a little sniff of the good stuff. Hopefully it doesn't explode. We're gonna see what it does. You ready, Keith? Crank it. Oh, she didn't blow back up at us. Well, there's your problem, lady. You need some freaking brake clean. So, at this point, like I said, that was quick and dirty. Spark's good, compression mechanics, all that's good. We're going to be looking at a fuel delivery issue, fuel control, whether it be, no pump, no pressure, injector control, something like that. So, quick way to narrow that down. We'll put this back. and we'll look and you know, we can do some bidirectional controls, see if the fuel pump is working, you know, stuff like that. Got a few different ways we could go, but that's next. All right, so we're gonna take, I gotta turn the key on here, run. We got the factory scan tool here. We are in fuel pump relay control. It's in toggle. We'll turn it on. I don't hear it right here. Let's go. Oh gosh, hold on. Oh, I hear it now. You guys hear it? So it is toggling. Huh. That'll be. So what's that mean? Just for the heck of it. Let's take and turn this off. You got your digits out of the way, Keith? Alright, let's see if it starts. Probably got you might want to get back off that air cleaner in case it backfires. Alright, so we got start stall. Let's just try this again. Get all the brake cleaner on there. Alright. So we got nothing there. I'm just kind of curious. Let's toggle this fuel pump one more time. Oops, gotta turn the key on, you big dummy. Let's run. Figure out how to run a computer here. Probably gotta give it a minute after turning the key on. Ignition accessory on. Come on, little guy. Oops. I'm gonna let that fuel pump cycle a couple times. Let it build some rail pressure. I'm gonna stop it. Okay, got your hands out of the way? See if it starts and stalls again, just out of curiosity. Wow, what kind of business is this? Can it, what I want to know, let's just turn it on. It'll probably stop this test. Okay, I hear the pump running. Let's just try to start it. Alright, so that starts and runs. Now let's go like this. Stop the actuator. See if the car stalls. This lady's gonna have to borrow your Y-Tech.
Looks that way.
Okay, let's just shut the car off. Just for poop and laughter. Basically, I fixed it.
Alright, back out of the actuator test and let's see if we have a data PID.
You want to go here, up here to data?
Yeah, you're gonna have to stop your data test. Your,
Oh shit.
Actuator first.
Oh, didn't mean to swear. I just swore on my YouTube channel. Oops. So the actuator test is stopped. So you want to go up to data?
Yep.
Alright, I'll get this going, guys, here, and then I'll flip you back on. Alright, so just real quick, guys. So we're back to the no start again, and Keith was explaining to me, even though I had shut the actuator off, that it was actually still commanding it and still running it. So that was my mistake, just not being familiar with how the tool works. So the only reason the fuel pump was running was because we were commanding on at the ECM. All right, so we got our data list pulled up here. One we're going to want to look at is, why is the ECM not turning on the fuel pump relay? So we're going to look at the fuel pump relay desired state. Right now it's false, so in other words, no. But we're just sitting here key on, so what we'll do is we'll crank it and see if that changes status from false to true. And it does. Okay. Let me turn the key back on here so this doesn't all go blank. So it's interesting that it does change status, that it is commanding it on. That is only commanding the control side of the relay on. So at this point I think we need to have a wiring diagram and see what's dropping on in the relay, even though this says it is true, that it is commanding it on. We can, very quickly, I'm sure, do you have relay jumpers?
Sure do.
Okay, Keith's got a relay jumper. We'll pull it out, we'll check the pins, we'll check the control side, and then we'll check the load side. I don't know where it gets its power from. On the load side, is it losing the power while it's cranking but maintaining control? I guess that's going to be the next place to go.
So you're thinking we're going to find a fuel pump relay?
A fuel pump relay, a faulty fuel pump relay?
Or that we're actually going to find a relay at all in that box?
Oh, dang it, it's built into the TIPM, isn't it? It's
Most likely.
it's on the board. That's right. Yeah, it's probably not. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, some of these fuel pump relays are actually non-serviceable and living in magic land. I forgot about that. Never mind.
That's okay. That's what I'm here for.
Still gonna get a wiring diagram. We got to get some kind of idea as to what's going on, perhaps, or this is just a faulty TIPM. But we'll find out soon enough.
Plants. What do we have? All our relays are going to be the Ks and our Ks. So yeah, we have run accessory, run and start relay, PCM relay, EBL relay, park lamp, rear
Yeah, I bet we
HVAC, front HVAC, ASD, and ready to fan.
Yeah, ASD always powered the fuel pump relay on older ones.
Yeah.
Well, let me grab I'll grab my Chromebook here. I'll grab a diagram. What'd you do? That wasn't done when you were standing there a minute ago.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, guys.
You gotta be careful where you're leaning.
Yeah.
So sorry about the glare, guys, but so this is the TIPM. Here is the fuel pump relay. Now this is an OEM diagram. This is a colored one, so it could be wrong. Keith will probably scream at me for looking at it. So there's our fuel pump relay that lives on the board. Fuel pump relay feed. So it's fed power. Let me just see here how this works. Yep, so that fuel pump relay feed integrated circuit board comes over. That's the power for our control side. We do have a wire we can get to for the actual control, the trigger of that relay, and then it's power, just hot at all times, which we can't check. The only thing we can check is where power comes through and comes out on this fuse M25, which I assume, it's not going to be hot while it cranks. It might have a prime or something. So it doesn't really leave us with much choice. This wire is going to lead off to our fuel pump, and then this is going to be the control out of connector C1 pin 40. So it's pretty much all we can check. If it's getting a control command and has nothing coming out of it, then it's the TIPM. So Keith already has the handy scope on a rope set up on that fuse M25, so this is going to be the output to the fuel pump. I'll have Keith hop in there. We'll toggle with the YTEC and make sure our light flashes, which it should, and then we'll also try to crank the car under its own power and do a key on prime and just kind of see what we have and what we don't have. All right, so Keith's going to hop in there. What do we got on the Dunkin' Donuts? Always Dunkin' Donuts. Okay, the guy lives on this stuff. It's like the 5th one today.
This and this right here. This is all things, folks.
I thought it took a tie, but I could be wrong.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I keep on forgetting that.
Let's see. So you're not in any active tests. Go ahead and shut the key off. I want to see if we got any kind of prime light first. You already tested test light? Okay, go ahead and give us some key cycles. Okay, so we got a prime. Yeah, we got a prime. Go ahead and do it again. Yep, so we got a prime. Yeah, kind of a double prime there. I saw that. Yeah, that was a single prime there. Yeah, I got some real flickers there. Okay, do it one more time just for the heck of it. Let me make sure I'm good here on the pin. Let me just. All right, test light's good. Let's double check. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I got nothing there, pal. What if you crank it? Must say, oh, so you had some fuel pressure in the rail from those primes. Okay, go ahead. You want to try and flicker it again? Eh, we almost had it. All right, let me set the camera down. I'm going to try to give it what I call the classic tap test. We're going to get hooked back up on this. This light's good. Okay, go ahead and turn the key on, Keith.
Yes, boss. Key off.
Okay.
Key on.
Hey, we got it. Okay, try it again. Nah, just cycle it again.
Off. Key on. Off. On.
Yeah, I almost fixed it.
Off. On one more time.
Yeah, it'll probably start and stall. I had a little prime there. Okay, now go ahead and toggle it with your with the Y-Tech just so we can see what we're supposed to see. That's pretty interesting. Just the fact, I'm just trying to kind of process it all right now. The fact that, you know, we tell the ECM, which is aftermarket or it's been replaced. So Keith and I actually, we looked at this Jeep last time I was up here in Staten Island. So this is, you know, several months ago. I actually came and did a diagnosis on this. It was a no crank, no start. And I don't remember the whole story on it. It ended up, it was overcharging on the guy and, you know, fried the ECM. Something or other like that. But I came and checked it out and we were missing a ground at the ECM. What it was, somebody had put an alternator on it, but they had left it loose, and the main ground wire from the frame to the block bolted to the bottom of the alternator, and that's what, you know, I found the, you know, I guess high resistance or open circuit there. So, you know, got that all bolted back down, regained all the grounds, and, you know, the car's been running ever since. However, there is another ECM. It's a Mopar one that's in it, so I guess just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. She ain't no virgin, baby. Okay, go ahead and toggle it. So you're toggling the fuel pump, Keith? So here's something interesting. It must run on a different circuit here or something. Oh no, there we go. I was just on a bad spot of the fuse. Never mind. Whew, thought there was some kind of voodoo magic going. So we can see the test light flickering here. I'm having a hard time seeing on this fuse. Okay, now that I know I'm on the fuse good, we're going to redo some of these tests. Can you see that blinking? Yep, you can. Okay, shut that actuator test off. Go ahead and start it. Nothing. And I'm on a good spot of the fuse. Just for the heck of it, start the actuator again. Think, man, think. My test light coming loose? No, my test light's good, but I'm having a hard time. It's very delayed from the time I hear that relay click to the time the actual light comes on. You notice that?
It certainly is.
That's like a half a second delay. I don't really know what to make of this right now. I'm having...
Well, when you're doing this toggle test here, we're also committing it on for 3 seconds or more at a time.
Yeah.
When we're cranking, though, we should also be committing that thing on.
Yeah, it should be commanded on all the time.
As long as it's seeing cranking RPM.
Yeah.
Almost means we got to look at that input.
The cranking RPM input?
Well, the input that's out here, our fuel pump relay
control input. Right. I mean, that's where I would go next, because you can't check the power input to the relay. That's irrelevant. That's all logic. The only thing left to check, because we know from the load side of this internal relay to the fuel pump, it's good, obviously, because the car runs. The only thing we can do at this point is check the control side of that relay on that brown wire, whatever it was, that pin C something or other. If we got control, then it's a junk TIPM. What was the acronym? I can't remember.
Totally integrated power module.
Yeah, well, I know, but there's another one. Crap, Motor Age just had it, and they just had a big article on it, what they call the TIPM. Totally integrated something, I don't know. They had a funny one, it was funny.
We'll get back on that.
Yeah, I'll remember. I remember now. It's trouble in power management. That's what they call TIPMs. Trouble in power management. Alright guys, so one thing I noticed, and you know, the whole time I'm doing this, I'm thinking I'm having a hard time getting it on this fuse, but the fuse is clearly and obviously open. So when I had shut the camera off, I had Keith run that test one more time, because I could hear the relay clicking even with the actuator test, but no output out of the test light. So I just want to show you guys that, show you that there indeed is a delay. So you know, we're probed into that, you know, well. We'll come over here. Oh, battery's running low. Let's see. I know we got a big glare here, guys, but I have to deal with it. So we're ready, 1, 2, 3, we're gonna turn it on. So actuator test is on. You hear it clicking. But the test light isn't lighting, but you give it some time here. I thought I just had a poor connection on my fuse.
Where we want to tap, I believe. It's going to be on the back side.
And while it's doing this, there is no fuel pump. So it seems to be kind of the more that we fiddle with it, the more this happens. Now, I was mentioning that we can't check the load side of the relay, the power going, you know, into the relay. The fact is we can't test it at the relay, but obviously it's not pulling, you know, 12 volts out of, you know, voodoo magic here. So one of the wires going in, you know, as long as we got good power into our TIPM, the control side of it we almost don't have to test because we hear the relay clicking, which, you know, we very easily can do. At this point, we either, you know, because some of this stuff has been off, you know, from previous repairs at this shop, you know, when they did something with the alternator and stuff, you know, things have been, you know, moved here, connectors have been done and done. So that's where we're going next. All right, so before I even go any further, because we got the actuator test running, we've got no test light, which you guys see, it's basically gone completely dead at this point. When we come back on and we actually look at this fuel pump relay circuit, like say, you know, non-serviceable circuit board, it's fed, you know, feeds its power to the control side of the relay, and then the power, so on the load side of this relay, the power that it receives is also shared with a host of things. That goes to the backup lights, it goes to the parking light relay, stop lights, wipers, door locks, I mean, you name it, this thing goes through everything. Rear wipers, horn, gosh, a host of stuff, you know, washer pump circuit, rear window defogger, you know, it goes on and on and on, and that power, it comes directly from the battery to the TIPM. So there really is no sense in pulling up the TIPM at this point to check that, because we have no problems with anything else on this entire circuit. So where it gets its power here at pin 30 on the relay, we know if we you know, if we have power supplied to the relay output here on fuse 20, the car starts and runs, which, you know, we could easily prove with a jumper wire. So Keith's going to grab a jumper wire, we're going to hook it up to the battery, we're going to hook it up here, you know, the truck should start and run indefinitely, or at least until we remove the wire. The control side of the relay, no sense in really going in to check that. We can hear it clicking. So you guys can hear that clicking. So at this point, I'm 100% confident calling the TIPM, as long as Keith agrees with me. Do you agree with me?
100%.
He agrees with me. This vehicle needs a TIPM. So when we pulled the fuse out, he got a little probe here to go down inside. Now the question, oh great, I yanked it out. Now you did it. Which side is the side of the fuel pump? Which side is the side that comes from the relay? What the heck did I do? I should just leave stuff alone is what I should do. So, oops, I just lose the fuse. Oh no, it's down there. So test light hooked to battery positive, and whatever side the fuel pump's on, it's going to light up the light. So it's not on that side naturally. And then take that back out, hook that up to the fuel pump side. There we go. So we got a complete circuit. This is just sending power down to the fuel pump, to the ground, but not enough, you know, to turn the pump on. So let's see here. So we'll get that probed in there. When he gets a jumper, we'll jump it, start the truck up, call it. So there it is, hooked up, battery positive. We're in the fuse box, completely unfused. Don't need the thermal imaging camera. Not yet anyways. So technically it should start and run.
Fire it up.
Yep.
Couple cans brake clean,
Yeah, that's it. Toggle switch is all she needs, baby. Probably want to get one of them ones with the red thing that you got to flick up first, you know.
Relay kit, or if they want to do it's still available for this car.
Yeah, there's a ton of videos, I think, even on YouTube, guys tearing apart them TIPMs and wiring in the relay on the outside of the box. because you got the control wire going to it, so you very easily could get, you know, a 30 amp relay and zip screw that.
You know as well as I do. I mean, that's the only thing that fails on a TIPM.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never seen the horn or the wipers or the, you know, gates and
Headlights.
yeah, headlights. You know, that's usually not it.
No, not at all.
Yeah, these TIPMs are a freaking joke. Obviously, as we make a joke about it. One of Chrysler's big screw ups here. TIPMs have been going bad since well, since the day they came out, basically. But now, are these ones on back order?
Don't know, but we're certainly going to find out on Monday.
Yeah. That's always been a problem that plagued Chrysler too, is, you know, every single TIPM they've ever made is bad, and every single one of them's on back order too. So we'll just put it back how we found it, call the customer. Hey, yeah, folks, we were really hoping this was going to be something sweeter than just your typical TIPM Chrysler problems, but that's it. Anyhow, find us on our socials, Google+, Facebook, and also on Patreon. And just remember, viewers, if we can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching. Alright, bonus footage time. We're going to go check out All Keith's Tools. Nah, seriously, just kidding. Who wants to see that?